Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, who am I kidding? It's definitely only gentlemen to this lovely night at the Yas Marina Circuit. Round 4 of this Intrepid Championship, and we are on board with Souls, who is currently sitting in P2. Now on board with Ransdell. It's been a while since he's driven in the league, but he is a quick driver. I believe he might have won a race before. Let's see if he... Oh, and he goes into the pits. Good start. But early on in this qualifying session, it does look like we have both of the V-carbs at the top of the timetable. We have the 2 V-carbs, and then that big gap, 6/10 to Scorenzi. Let's see if Raven West can improve here. And for the second time in a row, I'm watching him lap. Okay, just keep watching in laps. This is going well. Oh, as we see Liam spinning. Almost making contact with the car behind him. About halfway through the session here, still a big gap from the 2 V-carbs to P3. Be curious to know where that time is coming from. Scorenzi, normally one of the better qualifiers on the grid with us. Now on board with Souls, who's eternally washed, but we'll see what he can do here. on board with Impulse, another one of the perennial quick drivers in this league. It looks like he is about a second back from that pole lap time here. Looks like something might have gone wrong in Souls' hot lap. Gonna go back to Impulse. Oh, he's pitting. Liam off the circuit. Not for the first time in this session. Baxi, a new face on the grid, is doing very well right now. Slotted in P5, about 0.6 off of pole position. It does look like someone has improved on that 0.6 gap from second to third, and that someone is Football Dog. Probably have one more run in the session. Back on board with one of the Racing Bulls, Raven West. Ransdale does go quicker, does hold that pole position. Little snap from Raven. Let's see if he can beat out his teammate to the pole. And he can't do it. Ransdale does stay P1 with about 0.25 gap. Not sure if that mistake in Q3 might have cost him the P1 spot there, but believe Scarenzi is on a hot lap here. 1 second between Scarenzi's last time and pole position for the moment. That is a pretty humongous gap. Let's see if Scarenzi can improve on this run. Scarenzi goes to P3, good improvement up from P5, but still a pretty massive gap between himself and the V-Carb drivers. Mark Lax's teammate is out of the session, had a technical problem and crashed out of the session. So it will be a recovery race for Mark Lax. Inhuman Dan, not sure what's going on there, but hasn't set a lap time yet. King Kobas, 3 seconds adrift from the pole time at the moment. Totally lost, I think is the phrase I would use to describe this performance so far, but still time to get in one more run. Souls has fallen out of that top 10 now on a hot lap. Let's see if he can improve. Oh, and I was mistaken. Souls was on an in lap. On board with Young, a new driver to the league as he starts his flying lap. Currently slotted in the top 10 in P7. Oh, hopefully that Salver didn't get in the way and do too much there, but haven't seen this guy's pace yet, I don't think, so it would be most drivers are in the pits, getting ready for their final run. Looks like it's going to be a V-carb 1-2 lockout unless someone else can find a lot of time here, but pretty significant gaps up front right now. Curious to see if that's going to translate over to race pace. The Young does improve on that lap from P7 to P6, so well done for him. Drivers going out now for their final laps. I believe Ransdell is leading that pack. Scarenzi is going to have a lot to do here. The defending world champion, I believe, sits about, let me double check, definitely in the championship fight this year, just slightly on the back foot compared to last. Yep, Scarenzi is 8 points back in the title fight, tied with Raven West. Football Dog, current championship leader, as we ride on board with Ransdell. Currently holds the pole position. His teammate Raven West is on an outlap. Sub-Zero is out of the session. Not sure what happened there. Might have just been a retirement as he was done. On board with Vaxi. As Ranzel is finishing up there. Let's see if he improves his pole position time in Sector 3. Oh, big slide, and that's not going to be an improvement there. Moving back to Raven West, the other contender for pole right now. Scarenzi in Sector 2 behind Raven West. Vaxi makes it to the line, does not improve. Raven West coming into the end of Sector 3 now. The beginning of Sector 3, I should say. Does have about 2.5 tenths to make up here. Scarenzi following close behind him. As he goes to the line, where does he come out? Oh, big snap at the end there. Ransdell does hold the pole. Raven West did not improve, and it looks like Scarenzi is backing off of this hot lap. So that does it for your qualifying in IRL Season 4, Round 4. Ransdell will start on pole position. for this Grand Prix, followed by Raven West, Scarenzi, Football Dog, TTV, Vaxi GG, Liam, Stampso, Young, Itmar, Souls, Focona, Mark Lax will start at the back of the grid. We know he is a driver with immense pace. Sometimes he does like to barge his way through. So watching him drive from the back behind some slower drivers should make for some entertainment here tonight. If I had to make a prediction here tonight, someone is probably going to have to jump Ransdell and Raven West at the start, or they might go ahead and run away with this Grand Prix. Two very classy drivers, have a lot of pace, and they are going to be able to work together on the same team to get this victory here tonight. So let's see if Scarenzi does make any aggressive moves off the start to see if he can avert that. Looks like Mark Lax, the only driver in this field, is going to be opting for the hard tires. Like I mentioned before, he did have a technical failure that is causing him to be starting from the back, so it'll be interesting to see if this strategy offset will pay off for him. Inhuman Dan might be extremely washed. He did get out-qualified by King Kobas. Two Mercedes not in great starting positions here tonight. Leaders are starting to get on their grid box at the front of the pack. Lots of people getting disqualified on the formation lap. Hopefully it doesn't glitch. Lights out and away we go at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Looks like Raven West has come across on his teammate. Not much action in the front right now. There are some positions being jockeyed for in the back. The two V-Carbs get away very nicely. Scorenzi following suit, 6/10 behind. Looks like everyone has kept their nose clean so far. Mark is up from the back 3 positions. Kobas is up. Oh, he was up. Something happened there. Shit show in the back. Randall is fighting his teammate, Raven West. They might not be playing the same game here. I'm not sure if they are in a Discord or a VC at the moment. Looks like the top 5 or 6 are all nose to tail here. You see the possible race strategies. Really, 2-stop. I did not know this was a 2-stop. So curious to see if that is accurate. Ransdell still connected to his teammate here. I'm wondering if he will choose to make the lunge at the end of the next straight. Scorenzi now getting pressured by Football Dog. Football Dog on his inside. Oh, he is coming out neck and neck. King Kobas has hit and is now at the back of the pack. Ransdell and Raven West, even at the braking zone. Looks like they're keeping it clean. Raven West chases Ransdell out of the exit of the corner. Does have a good toe, is going to go alongside. Football Dog has gotten past Scorenzi. Ransdell is now the closest man on track to anyone else. Baxi running nicely up front in 5th, as well as Young. Those two are rookies to this league. Snugly within the top 10 at the moment. Astan, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Astan is running nicely in 8th. I think that might be a pretty good position for him at the moment as he fights off Itmar. Ransdell does get that lead back from Raven West. Still in the DRS zone, goes to the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Football Dog should take advantage of these two fighting if they are fighting. It did look like from the broadcast view that they're probably not communicating or playing the team game if they are. Souls does get a 3-second time penalty. On board with Fokona as he chases down Inhuman Dan in the Mercedes. Oh, Dan goes a little bit defensive and bounces off the wall. Might have unsettled the car coming onto the straight. Let's see if O'Kona goes for the dive. No, he's too far back. Football Dog does have DRS on Ransdell. Curious to know if these guys are in a VC. And secondly, are they playing the team game here? Football Dog does get a little loose out of the exit of the chicane. Still will have DRS here. Ransdell might be lining up a move on his teammate. Goes to the outside here. Looks like a bunch of drivers have been trying to swing around the outside and overtake in this corner. Football Dog getting a little bit disconnected here. He is going to want to get back onto the tail of Ransdell here as they fight. Scarenzi, though, wants to get himself back up into that P3 position. Soul's running nicely in the top 10 in a P8 spot with Stamso right behind. Not a ton of position changes or major position changes, but looks like Liam is the biggest loser so far, and King Kobas, day to forget already for him. Ransdell lining up a move on his teammate again. Curious to know if he will make the dive. Oh, won't need to make the dive. He has the overspeed and he has the position. Ransdell does take P1 from his teammate into the chicane here. Football Dog and Scarenzi on the back of this train. Football Dog does keep getting closer to this V-carb combo. If they continue to fight, Football Dog will more than likely pick one of them off. Ransdell getting a little discombobulated in the corner there. Young looking to set up a move on TTV backseat GG. Oh. What just happened? One of the V-cars pits. Raven West is in the pits. Curious to know if that was planned. Might be planned because it looks like another driver is coming in as well. Bunch of guys are now pitting. Scarenzi looks like he is trying to reel in Football Dog here. Curious to see if Ransdell is going to off-strap strategy with his teammate or if we'll see him dive into the box at the end of this lap. Raven West has fit the hard tires onto his car. I mean, pit stop this early. I'm assuming this is going to be a two-stop because that was a very quick stint on those mediums. Looks like Stamso and Souls are swapping positions, playing some sort of team game here. Scarenzi is now really reeling in Football Dog. You can see in the braking zones, he is really close. Same with Football Dog and Ransdell. Let's see if Ransdell dives into the pits, and they all choose to pit. Football Dog, though, getting a penalty. 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, I believe. That is not going to... That is not going to help. Scarenzi has come out behind TTV Vaxi GG. Oh, there has been a retirement. Human Dan has DNF. Not sure if that was a rage-induced DNF or damage. Another penalty. Oh, looks like he might get 2-1 here. Jeez. Oh! What a move. I thought he was going to try and stick it, but thought better of it here. Scarenzi making the move on Football Dog. This is for position. TTV Vaxi GG following closely. And that was a pretty big move for Scarenzi. Got him out of the way, or got Football Dog out of the way, and now he is free to race the V-Carbs. But there are a bunch of people in this race that still have not pit. The safety car would come out now. They would benefit nicely. Samso has inherited the lead of the race. McLaren 1-2 at the moment. Alright, sorry about that. Just got food dropped off to me. I'm sure I missed the most exciting thing ever. It looks like these guys... Oh my! So Ransdell and Raven West are trying to cut their way back to the front of this race after pitting. Looks like they're encountering some traffic. Kona will not make this easy on Raven West, it appears. Doesn't go super defensive. Oh! And that will not have helped Ransdell in the race. Scarenzi might be the benefactor of the traffic. Stampso still yet to pit. So if this does end up being a two-stop race for most drivers, Stampso might be trying to make it a one-stop. Not sure if this actually is a two-stop, but that would be interesting to see if he can make this work here. Scarenzi now encountering that traffic that Ransdell and Raven West had to cut through earlier, and it looks like Raven West will make the move on Stampso. Stampso does appear to be diving into the pits now. Scarenzi still has not dispatched of Focona. I believe Focona would be... Oh! Some off-track shenanigans there. Scarenzi now very close. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there. It does look like Football Dog. Oh, he almost did get the move done. Now Scarenzi and potentially Football Dog as well will get past Focona. Big line of cars here. Leaders are pulling out a bit of a gap over P3. These guys behind might want to think about not fighting each other if they want to catch up to the leaders, but at this point, not sure if that's even possible. Raven West is fighting Ransdell for the lead. sure this is making their team principal Panda very happy. Scrunzy, though, is closing in on the leaders here. He is bringing that gap down. Looks like he has taken out about a second or so in a lap. This fighting will bring Scrunzy back into the fight if they are not careful. As we cut to P11, Astan trying to get the move done on Souls. Leaders still fighting. Gap has stayed pretty consistent to P3. You see Raven West with the overspeed here is going to try and hold it into the corner. Football Dog has gotten past Scarenzi, though. These guys fighting is going to potentially keep them out of contending for the lead. And Liam has retired from the session. Oh, and that appears to be a big crash, and there's a safety car. There is a safety car. And that is going to throw a giant wrench in someone's strategy. Kind of an awkward time if you have just pit. Ransel chooses to box. His teammate chooses to box as well. This is very interesting, not because people are boxing, but the tire situation. From here, it's I don't know if you stay on a don't come back in, or or some people are gonna have to stop again. But Raven West and basically the entire grid has chosen to box and fit. Let's see. Fit the hard tires. Stan and Souls chosen to stay out. That's kind of what I'm talking about. These guys weren't. Some of these guys weren't on tires for a long time. Their tires are relatively new, so the guys who stayed out, I believe this is going to benefit them pretty nicely, as they won't need to box. Did not get to see what happened to Liam in that collision there. Who was involved? Stamso, potentially? I don't know. I don't know who was involved with that. I'm gonna eat food while the safety car is on now. I'm eating sushi, it's pretty good. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Now, I'm not sure what I missed. Not doing a very good job of paying attention, but not sure what I missed, but Football Dog has inherited the lead of this race. I'm not sure if something got flipped around in the pits or how that exactly happened, but I assume it did happen in the pits. I do believe the V-Carbs might have a little bit more ultimate pace, but Football Dog and Scrunzy are now in front of the V-Carbs, so the leaders have seen this race flipped on their head. Let's see if they can get back to the front. Doesn't appear like too much happened on the restart. Everyone looks like they got away nicely. Screnzy is trying to push Football Dog pretty severely right now as we see the two V-Carbs in tow. Screnzy does have a run on Football Dog, chooses to stay behind for now. I believe that Mark was involved in that earlier incident with Liam. Not sure if he was in the wrong or the right, but I believe he was involved. Screnzy still pushing Football Dog. You see Young trying to stick his nose in on Astan. Does get the move done. Still fighting now with Young. Oh, Scrunzy does stay behind after closing in on Football Dog, but he will have a very good run out of the corner now as Football Dog was harvesting. Might have ERS to fight him back. Scrunzy does fly by using DRS fairly easily, but these guys are going to want to make their moves very deliberately and strategically here as to not lose too much time. These V-Carbs behind will be hunting them. Oh, and there's been a wreck. Someone appears to have hit Astan, and he is in the wall. Looks like he can get the car going again. We'll more than likely dive into the pit here. Not sure who caused that accident, but Oh! Thought I missed something. And King Kobas is out of the session. Not sure what happened there. Screnzy has Football Dog on his back, moves to the outside, takes the position into the corner, and is going to hold it onto the straight. We'll see if Screnzy chooses to burn battery here to come back in him, but he has Raven Vest right on his back. Oh, switches to the outside. Is forced to go the long way around by Football Dog. Doesn't get the move done, but he has Raven West right on him, who's going to take advantage of the fighting. Coming into Sector 3 here, we have 4 lead cars, nose to tail. Raven West does get the move done on Screnzy. And this is what I was talking about earlier. If these guys Football Dog and Screnzy let the fighting lose them time, but that the V-Carbs were going to get brought straight into this fight as we see TTV, Vaxi, GG in the background of this 4-car train. Screnzy now under threat from Ransdell. As we see Football Dog trying to break the toe to Raven West. Raven West now has overspeed on. Football Dog gets the move done. Can he make it stick? Screnzy all over the back of Football Dog now. V-Cars are appearing to benefit greatly from the fighting between the Alpine and the Red Bull team. Raven West all... Oh, and that's a spin! That's a spin from Ransdell. Oh my God, and a really dangerous re-entry. It appeared that Screnzy might have... I don't know. It kind of appears that Screnzy might have hit him on that in Sector 3, but I couldn't tell if he didn't just spin on his own. But that is devastating for the pole sitter and a guy who's been leading the race most of the time tonight. That is not ideal, and he also doesn't have the teammate anymore. Football Dog rocking up to the back of Raven West, who is now leading the race alone for V-Car. Football Dog does get that move done. Raven West on his diffuser. Screnzy not out of this fight yet. To the back of the pack here, you see Marklax trying to make his way around Souls. Oh, and it looks like Sub-Zero might have just hit the wall behind them. Mark does get by Souls, lots of sliding. Souls going to come back at him. And there's a 1 second gap between P1 and P2 right now. Football Dog getting dragged back into this fight by DRS. Screnzy still not out of it either, but there is a big gap now from P3 to P4. As these guys are going to run away. Still 10 laps to go. Oh, big smack from Souls into the chicane there. Mark is not going to be happy about that. But I am wondering if any of these guys are going to stop again. Raven West holding out that 1 second gap over Football Dog. As we cut to Young fighting TTV Vaxi GG for a good haul of points in P4. Raven West now opening up a large gap to 2. Just over a second here. Not sure if Football Dog did have DRS on the back straight, but he is going to want to fight to keep within 1 second here. But who does have DRS, though, is Scarenzi. Still all over the back of Football Dog. Cut back to Young and Vaxi GG. We'll see if Young can get the moves on his fellow rookie driver. Impulse lining up a move on Young, who's lining up a move on Vaxi. Let's see who dives first. Football Dog is closing this gap up to Raven West, though, pretty significantly. He's brought it down from a second to about half a second. Some fighting going on in the midfield here. And I am very, very curious to know if Ransdell and Screnzi made contact. Kind of robbed us of a good V-carb fight. Seven laps remaining. Football Dog has gotten dropped by another 3/10. We'll see if he can fight back and maybe have a lunge at Raven West here. Definitely burning ERS to rock up to the back of Raven West. Now within 2/10, closest he has been in a long time. A little slip from Raven West as Scarenzi stalks in the background. Within 2/10. Again, looks like he has overspeed on the back straight. Raven West is going to force him out wide. We'll see if it makes the move stick. Just hang it out. We'll have the inside line now to this next corner. And we have a new leader of the race, Football Dog. Scarenzi going to want to rock up to the back of Raven West as these guys are fighting. Impulse in the background is lining up Vaxi. And right on board with Raven West as he does look to chase back down Football Dog. Drivers in the top 3 have opened up a pretty massive gap to the next driver in P4 with Vaxi, so well done to them. Definitely a cut above the rest today. Raven West now is very close to Football Dog through the chicane. Football Dog got a good exit, but Raven West will have the DRS. Has major overspeed here. And I've completely forgotten about Football Dog's 3-second time penalty. That is not ideal to say the least. Not sure if that might get removed by the stewards. Impulse still lining up this move on Vaxi. Screnzy now. It's closing, and does appear to be closing again. As Young receives a 3-second time penalty. Impulse still lining up. This move on Vaxi. Will he go for it here? Doesn't look like he has the overspeed. Football Dog now under attack by Screnzy. Stamso has sneaked into a pretty cheeky P6 while his teammates dropped the P11. Not sure what happened there. They were together at some point in this race. On board with Screnzy in P3 as he tries to eye up Football Dog, about 7/10 a drift at the moment. Or 6/10, I should say. And Impulse just can't get by Vaxi GG. Screnzy now very, very close to Football Dog, who is very, very close to Raven West, as Impulse has made the move on Vaxi GG finally. Fakona fighting Stamso for P6. I'm curious if there's any... Yeah, Young's on a fresh set, and then everyone else is about the same on those hard tires. Stamso with the oldest 15-lap old tires. This fight still has 3 laps to unfold here. These guys are nose to tail, pushing like crazy right now. Vaxi is closing back on Speedy, who just overtook him for P4. Sub-Zero getting a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 9th. I don't think that will affect him. Oh, yeah. Well, that might lose him that P9. Here's we're on board with Screnzi. This fight looks like it is about to occur. Aston is DNF'd. I'm not positive where he was running before, and if that was an on-track DNF or a in the pits DNF, but too late for his safety car. Speedy and Vaxi are still fighting this battle for P4. And if Football Dog or Screnzi have an ace card up in their sleeve, they might want to pull it out now because Raven West is doing a fabulous job at holding this lead under immense pressure from two very good drivers behind. Baxi does get through on Speedy. Fakona passing Stampso for P6. Stampso's slightly older tires might be starting to be a problem right now. Football Dog very, very close now to Raven West. Assuming he could get the 3 seconds removed, depending on what it was for, he could end up winning this race. As we start the final lap, Raven West does lead by 4/10, probably burning a bit of battery right about now. Screnzi 6/10 behind as well, not making any major inroads. Both will have DRS here as Souls gets overtaken and sent to last place. Leaders, top three, have now gapped P4 by 18 seconds, so very, very strong drive from these three, no matter what happens here on the final lap. Football Dog 3/10 behind, probably his final chance to make an overtake. He is close. Something has happened on track, not sure what. There is a yellow flag. He is very, very close. If he wants to make a send, he might have some overspeed into the final corner here. I don't think it's going to happen. Football Dog will lose that P2 to Screnzi due to the 3-second time penalty. But a very well done from Raven West. Very impressive win. He wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Screnzi P2, Football Dog P3. 18 seconds later, and we have P4. Fakona, Williams finishing right behind him. TTV, Vaxi GG in 5th. Speedy in 6th. Young in 7th. Ransdell probably was going to win this race or finish on the podium. Not sure what happened, if he spun or did get crashed out by an opponent, or it was just a racing incident, but does come back and finish in P8. Very unfortunate for him. Sub-Zero will finish 9th. Mark Laxwell finished 10th. Guess pretty good job after starting in dead last. You probably would like to finish a little higher though, but P10 for Mark Lax, Souls 11, Stampso P12. Not sure what just happened there. But thank you for joining me for this Intrepid Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And hope everyone has a wonderful night. Fastest lap does go to Scrunzy.